Welcome to the Authentic Leadership Roadshow. My name is Helena Demuynck. I'm your host, as usual, and I am a transformation guide for smart, conscious, high-achieving women. I support you to break through your inner glass ceiling, build unstoppable momentum in every aspect of your life. The Authentic Leadership Roadshow, as you may already know, is basically a platform where you can commit, engage, learn from other women, women with a vision, women with a mission, women that are ready to share their authentic stories, their struggles, their successes with you so you can learn from it. So I hope you get inspired today because today I am here with Rachel Smets. And Rachel is a two-time TEDx speaker. She is a coach, a YouTuber, a very active YouTuber. You will find all the links here below, and an author and digital nomad. Rachel helps you to become a confident speaker, to find your voice, and to create presentations to impress and impact. So you will be remembered long after you leave the room. She is living and have been working in many, many countries, and she has learned to turn every challenge into a new opportunity. Welcome, Rachel. I am so thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Helena. Wow, what a nice introduction. It's always nice to hear somebody else introduce you. It's so fun.
Yes,
Thank you.
receive it. Receive it.
Yeah,
Basically, that's the first lesson.
yeah.
Receive what you
I
earn
love
and
it.
own what you have. Absolutely. Rachel, I have seen you in Holland, in Australia, in Canada, in Portugal, wherever. So you are absolutely a digital nomad. Tell us a little bit more about your story before we dig deeper into the questions.
My story, I'm gonna try and make it short, and I will. It's basically I was working a corporate job. I hated it. I really did. I don't like to work for a boss. I was stressed out every single day, and I just had to find a way to, get away from it. But you have to have money, right? And I'm single. I'm alone. I don't have a support provider, and so I started researching how to make money online. And at the same time, I did like to travel here and there, but then in a 9 to 5 job, you don't have a lot of chances to travel. Um, so anyway, I did find more ways to make money online. I was able to quit my job and travel full time. And so I take my laptop with me and I go around the world. And I did, having said that, when I quit my job, it was also because I burned out. Okay. And the burnout was really the best thing that ever happened to me because it really made me dig deep, like, wait, what's going on with me? What is it that I really want? And the biggest one word value that came out of that is freedom. And
Mhm.
freedom is for me working when I want, where I want, when I want. And that's what I went for, and that's the short version, but yeah, it's a
Awesome. Yeah, I
process,
know
it's
you
a
have the
path, it's
long
a journey.
version.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And people who want to know more about that, just go to your YouTube channel and they can find basically you built your story there. But you lived in Holland. You had your family there. You had your job there that you quit. You had a house there that you sold. I'm pretty sure that many people said, or at least thought, Rachel, you are crazy. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You have all these safety nets and you just, throw everything away. What mindset does it take to do that? Because you are not crazy. Trust me, I don't think you're crazy because you know that I do, and people who know me know that I do similar things. But what mindset does it take?
Um, I have to tell a little bit more of the story. I'm actually born and raised in Belgium, not in Holland at all. But that was the last country I lived in. So my family, I mean, my parents are in Belgium.
Mm,
But when I was about 25 or something, I did leave Belgium and I worked abroad. And I was living and working abroad in many countries as well. But then I always moved everything. I looked for a job in that country. I looked for a home. I registered the whole shebang, the whole thing. And that I was tired of. Digital nomad is
mm,
literally not having a home base, but just, continuously traveling. So I was already abroad and Holland was the last country. And yes, I did sell everything, to do the full time travel. And yes, crazy is definitely, especially my parents who I love to bits, but it's like, oh, Rachel, what are you doing? Like, you can't just, you can't sell your home and everything. Like, it's not possible. And I'm like,
mm,
but you know what, Helena? The mindset. is something I've been working on quite a while, and still every single day. Because for me, it's always two things. It's like, yes, you have to take action and go for it and have money coming in and do the work. But the mindset without that, and when I coach people, it's always both. I wasn't a confident person at all, like zero. Like I used to be so self-conscious of like, what are other people thinking of me? And that was my, what are others thinking of me? And for that reason, I didn't do anything that I wanted. I did everything that everybody else wanted. And I lived the dream of everybody else except my own. And then I really started working like, wait a minute, this is my life. And when I grow old, am I going to look back upon a life that I lived for somebody else? Or did I live a life and say, I have no regrets. The biggest thing that people have at their older age is like, oh, regret. I didn't do what I wanted. And I didn't want any, oh, I should have, I would have, I could have, no. I just wanted to live and it takes a lot of effort in the mindset, a lot of work in the mindset. And so really living a life of, even today, like I'm now sitting in Portugal, and how often my mom is like, I wish you were here, Rachel, and you could help us with this and that. And she's really good in trying to make me feel, guilty and I'm still like, yeah, if anything goes wrong, I'll fly over, but I just have to live my life,
Yeah, I understand that very, very well. You said you feel guilty sometimes. I can understand that, but you still, choose for your vision and your mission. There's a lot of judgment involved. This is also my experience, as living the life that I want to live. And I also know that from my work with women that I coach. There's a lot of judgment involved in two areas. One is that you are selfish because you leave your family behind. Who is going to look after your parents when they're old? You do whatever you want. Why do you do that? That's one thing. And then, of course, there's a projection of other people, other women who actually would love to do the same, would love to show up for themselves, to like you say, to live their lives and not the lives for everybody else, and do not know how or how they can afford it. But I mean, they could, but they don't see the ways. They don't see the possibilities. They don't see their own potential. So because I know that you coach women and men probably also that want to take that make that move. So what is your main advice or strategy that you help them with to have this mind shift, a different mindset, and to start taking the first actions?
Yeah, I was writing a few notes here because you said a lot of things, and it's true. Selfish, no, because you're taking care of yourself. That's the first thing. Saying no to somebody else is saying yes to yourself. So I think that's the first thing. But what came up for me is two other things. One is I stopped caring about what other people say about me. And that's a big thing. I used to be 100% people pleaser. Like, oh, you want to come over here? Can you help me here, Rachel? Yes, 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 always yes. Like even my weekends full of, I have to be there, I have to be there, I have to be there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy again, always for other people, pleasing other people. Until I realized, like, is that gonna when you think about your future, whoever is watching or listening, when you think about your future is going to all of these things and helping all of these people, is that really, the future? Is it helping your future? Is it helping feeling fulfilled? For me, it was, first of all, figuring out what is it that I want. Okay, I want freedom. I want to do what I want when I want, right? And so, yeah, and I wanted to build my online business. And so when I was still working my job at the time, I really spent a lot of time working my own business and building that up because I wanted to leave my job. And so I had a lot of friends and people like, oh, you want to come over here? You want to go out there? People that were not entrepreneurs. And this is where I'm going for my second point, because they didn't understand when I'm like, no, it's Friday night, it's weekend. No, I'm staying home. I want to build. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to put effort into this. They didn't understand, and I had to let go of a lot of people. Yeah. And so this is really where my second point comes in. It's not selfish. I was building my own freedom. I was building my own dream and my own future for me to be more fulfilled and more happy and more satisfied. And the second thing at the same time was I had to let go of certain people in my life and choose different people. So the note I wrote here is like, who are you listening to? When you're saying, Helena, it's judgment, and it's people saying, oh, but people kind of, I guess it's jealousy. People want what you have and they don't have it, and then they start critiquing you. That's also something that's happening, with the whole judgment thing. But the thing is, who are you listening to? Because when I was listening to all these people who are still in a job saying, oh, Rachel, or all those people like, you're crazy. It could be jealousy, could be envy, could be fear,
Absolutely.
like for my parents, it's pure fear. Are you crazy to do that? Because they don't know what's going to happen to me. So it's pure fear. And it's meant with a really good, warm heart, So it can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
But who did I listen to? I started choosing people that are entrepreneurs, that are online entrepreneurs, that are digital nomads, that are, whenever I wanted to build something, whatever it is that you want in your future. When I wanted to do my TEDx talk, who did I go to? I started talking to TEDx talk speakers. With my YouTube, I'm still talking to other YouTubers because I want to grow there. With building my own business with digital in the beginning, I was just constantly seeking people with, and what did they say? Oh my gosh, it's amazing and this and that. They were not saying I was crazy. And then, of course, I had to let go of a lot of people in my life that did not understand it. And I only have maybe less than a handful of friends who understand that I'm not calling them every week, that I'm not there, that I'm once in a blue moon arriving on their door. And that's okay, but they get it. They understand it, and they just let me do my thing.
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely.
And so what you focus on is for me, it's everything. What I focus on, I'll find. And this is the biggest nugget ever that I always have with my clients as well, is when they're like, oh, but this can go wrong and that and this. What are you focusing on? On all the things that can go wrong and all the things you don't have? Why don't you start focusing on all the things that are going well and that you do have? And that's, you get what you focus on. That in itself is, like, for me, an everyday thing. Still today, I'm not kidding you. I'm working on this every day. Like, I've been feeling bad the last 2 weeks, and it's like, and then you turn into this self-pity, oh, no. And then every day I'm like, okay, Rachel, but I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm doing this, I can do that. There's a lot of things I couldn't do, but there's a lot of things I could do. And I just, it's where you focus on.
Absolutely. I think there's more than one gold nugget in there, Rachel. It is absolutely true that setting your intentions and focus on the positive and what you can do is a very, very important one to go where you want to go. It's also about having a vision and a mission, and share that vision and mission with the right people. Surround yourself with people that support you, not with people that tear you down. And I know it's very difficult to let go of people because you're not the only ex-pleaser in the world, I guess this is also something that is very, very typical for a lot of us. We don't want to hurt people. We don't want to disturb people. We don't want to molest people. We want everybody to be happy at the cost of ourselves. But what is also very important, because you say, okay, I want to be free. I want to live the life that I want to live. But actually, the life that you live is a life of serving. Because you have developed, me too, you have developed programs and opportunities and support for other people that want to find what is really important to them. So basically, and I also believe that it is not possible to do that if you are not free. And I don't mean that free in the terms of not taking responsibility for, like you say, for family, if something goes wrong or if there's a problem or if they need support, but basically really focusing on your mission and your vision. If you do not do that, you cannot serve other people. Yeah. And that's basically the end goal, and that is what a lot of people forget. And I feel I get a lot of encouragement and inspiration also out of that view, like, okay, but if we are positive, if we communicate, if we send out our messages, if we create programs and support, we are here to serve other people. We are here basically to create a better world for a lot of other people by doing what we're doing. Does that resonate?
Yeah, of course. And it comes down to looking at things, right? On one hand,
Mhm.
you can say, hey, Elena, you're also away from your family and this and that, and all the things that, you're not doing or we're not doing. But there's so much we are doing, and we are serving. And it really comes down to
Absolutely.
how you perceive things, how you view things, and from what angle you're looking at things,
Hmm.
and that's okay. Like, I really have peace now with whatever anybody thinks of me, of anything. That's fine.
Mm.
Everybody has other opinions, and those
Yeah,
who like me will resonate with me, and those who don't, they don't, and that's okay. We can be
that's
friends with the
okay.
whole world, and it's fine.
Yeah,
You share
exactly.
your message, I share my message, and and we try to help as much as we can, and we're helping a lot of people, and even if it's one people, like if I have one comment somewhere, like, oh, Rachel, today, you made my day, and this and that, it's like, it makes
Yeah.
my day, and that's it. I'm
Hmm.
happy. That's it. That's all.
Exactly. Exactly. When you were preparing all these things, what was the best advice you were given? What was something that you say, okay, this really maybe even took me over the rope?
Wow, that's a big question. And the
I
thing that
know.
comes to mind is literally the mind. The things that come to mind is that you can manifest anything. When you're saying when you did all
Mm.
these things, I'm thinking, yeah, there's a lot of things that I've done, and I manifested all of it. All of it. And I think we are all manifestors. And I don't want to sound like a woo-woo person, because I have to admit that I used to be like, and still sometimes, the most rational, logical person on earth. Like, the whole manifestation, even the word was like not known to me. Um, but if you really believe in something, if you really want something, you can have it. And so me being totally not confident, and then suddenly, standing on a stage, to speak, or, going on camera. I mean, who would have thought? Never in a million years. But when I just saw myself in my mind, and it's mind work. Manifestation is mind work, right? It's really like
Mm.
whatever your dream is. Is it to achieve something? Is it to buy a house? Is it to, stand on a stage? It's to get a promotion in your job. Whatever it is, it's first seeing it happen in your mind and really
Yeah.
feeling it, not just seeing it, not just sit there like, oh,
Mm.
I have $1 million. No, that doesn't work. You really see that goal and make it specific and feel it. And everything, like every travel, I saw myself landing in a plane in Australia, getting my ticket before I even booked it. Like
Yeah. Mm.
everything, the TEDx, I saw myself, I saw the red, I saw myself on the red carpet. I felt it. I felt, I heard in my mind the comments like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, Rachel. You know, everything, everything
Beautiful.
I have done so far, it's all that. So I think it's really learning to believe in yourself, which is not an easy thing. Nothing is easy. It takes effort, but
Mhm.
most people prefer to work hard, 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 in doing, doing, doing. And I'm actually spending more time working hard, hard, hard to build a strong mind, and putting effort there, because we all have a mind which is only to humans, and we underutilize it. And I'm
Mm.
definitely not working
Absolutely.
hard physically. I'm just taking a lot of time to build my mind, and it's been very, very fruitful to me.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
recommend it.
I love that aspect of visualization and thinking of your future self, because actually you are already practicing who you want to become. And what I love is that you can basically, with everything that you do, if you have this clear identity, this clear new identity of who you want to become, everything you do, you can ask yourself, what would this new me do right now? How would this new me respond right now? And basically, it is your learning stage. It's your stepping stones. What I see is that we often just don't take the time to see and to think and to invent who we really want to be. And the clearer that idea or that vision is, the clearer that new identity is, or that becoming identity,
Yeah.
the better you can work towards it. And then it is not about my advice is always don't think about how, if you really think about this dream of yours, dream big. And don't think about the how. Because if you start thinking about the how, you will limit your dreams to the solutions that you see right now. So don't think about the how, just think about what you want. And then it will just unfold itself. And I'm pretty sure that is what happened with you also. Like you said, I was not really confident. I did, but I know what I wanted. And you took these steps, baby steps and then bigger steps. And like you say, when you are surrounded and supported by people who share that dream or who can empathize with it, then you make your move forward. Absolutely. That's beautiful.
And there's two things again, like, not think about the how. That's huge because that's me, it's like, oh, but I want that, but how, how is like the first question that comes up, and it's letting go of that how, but it's being clear, Helena, that is the hardest, and I'm at a point in my life right now, and I'm fully honest, like, I've been very clear on many things, I wanted to quit my job, I wanted to travel, I wanted to TEDx, I wanted to build, there's so many things, and right now I'm like, okay, I've manifested so many things. What do I want next? So I'm really in this phase again of, there's some things, I do know, but it's something new, it's not something that's like, sometimes things are very clear. Oh, that's what I want. And right now I'm like, okay, I have that, I have that, I have that. So I'm kind of like in the phase again of like, new year, what now? And that's okay too. It's like, it doesn't always have to be a crystal clear red car or whatever it is, like, I think sometimes it's a bit broader, right now I'm in a phase of, a bit more like a bit broader things, maybe not so specific, just,
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because there again, I see a lot of people who are basically they're human doings instead of human beings, and taking the time, finding the patience, finding also the confidence to not know yet. That's very strong. That's absolutely strong, because we're always so looking for the solution or looking for the direction. It has to happen now or tomorrow, and we get stressed by not knowing. And being able to be at peace with not knowing is very, very strong. Thank you for sharing that, because that is important, because we always think that high achievers and people who are actualizing, they have it all together. No, we don't. No, we don't. Nobody has it all together at every time. And people who are saying that are lying or are manipulating you. So basically, I really like that thing that you say, well, okay, there's like some rest now, because I have been doing a lot of things, and now I'm trying to, to find what will show up. Beautiful.
But it's hard because we are constantly bombarded, like, especially now, me too, like I suddenly started, there are moments of doubt, like, wait, I have no, like, it's New Year, and then you see all these posts, like, what's your goal? What's your vision? What's your this? What's your that? And then it's like, I need to, like, it's almost like, the urgency of having a goal or having and I'm like, and there are moments that I'm like, and then you start doubting, like, wait, is there something, I mean, I didn't go that far, but is there something wrong with me? Like, if I, and I'm happy to say I'm able to shift that back to my own self really quickly. But boy, it's also because I've been training my mind and just focusing on myself. But it's just so hard when you see all these posts and social media and everybody talking about, oh, my goal is this and my goal is that, and it's not needed. Like, it's important to take that silence and look at yourself and just what is important to me right now.
Absolutely. And actually, it's funny that we should have our goals on January 1st. I mean, we could also have them on March 1st or on May 2nd or on August 13th. I mean, it doesn't matter. But of course, those are the rituals that are built in cultural, historically, societally, and that make us feel like we have to have our goals January 1st. No, we don't. No, we don't. A question, Rachel, do you have a coach?
Always. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really happy you shared this also. I also have two coaches because I strongly believe that if you are doing this work, if you are really exploring on identity, on mission, on vision, we need a coach.
Yeah.
Because and this is not like advertising for what we are doing. The thing is that we have so many blind spots, things that we are not aware of and that other people are aware of. And if you can go in co-discovery about these blind spots, if you find a safe space to explore all these things, if you have somebody that is sponsoring you, that is validating you, that is supporting you, that is mentoring and coaching you, then you can move forward and you really feel supported. Because I believe that if you have this neutral, supportive space, you can make big steps, because then you are really going very deep, and you also are open to your shadow sides, and you are open to see what is keeping you from some things, because sometimes we don't progress because there are things unconsciously keeping us from moving. And if you have these deep conversations with a coach, with a mentor, or with a very, I would say, somebody professionally trained, it could be a friend also, but they should be professionally trained. And you can really uncover all these blocks. That's where you can make the progress. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, and I have to say that a coach changes. Okay, it's not the same coach for many years. It's like I grew
Yeah.
and my coach changes. You know, you have different needs in different moments in your life.
Exactly.
It could be a life coach, a career coach, you know, have a YouTube coach. It could be anything that you need in that moment. You know, so but yeah, I think the best advice is if you find someone who has what you want, then that's the person, you know, and somebody you feel really well with, you know, because and again, it's a search, okay? It's not like, oh, you're just any coach. It's like, I've had many conversations with many people that, you know, wanted to coach me, but I just, it has to feel right, you know, it has to,
Absolutely.
it's not even about, you know, what is more or less expensive. It's really about, do I connect? Do I feel it? Because if you don't connect well and it doesn't feel good, then you can pay all the money in the world. It's just not going to be it.
Yeah,
And that's also
exactly.
something that I have developed, you know, over the years. It's my intuition of, okay, do I feel good with a certain person or not? Same thing with friends and the people you're surrounding yourself with. I maybe because I've traveled so much and I've met so many people, I developed it more. I don't know if that's the answer, but I encourage everybody to really develop this sense of, okay, I think the best advice to develop your intuition is when you talk to anybody, when you talk to one person, do you feel a really good energy? Do you feel like, oh yeah, I can talk for hours. Oh, I'm so motivated. I'm so energized. Or is it an energy vampire where, you know, it's like, oh gosh, I've come home and I'm so tired and all these questions. And it's like, you know, these people like, oh, and what about this? And what about that? And what if you're gonna, you know, and all these worst case scenarios and all of these. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't want to talk to that person again, or the least amount of, you know, possible.
Yeah.
And so with the coach, it's the same. It's like, okay, I'll have a conversation. It's like, I don't really feel it, or yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be the energy, there has to be the chemistry, and you have to feel that this coach will help you to achieve extraordinary results in the area where you want to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, it is very important to be supported by the right people. And there again, what I see is we are very reluctant to invest in ourselves. If I have conversations with women and we are talking about programs that are to invest in, basically you basically see them starting calculating in their head, because there's the children, or there's the family holiday, or there's always so many things that you can use as an excuse not to invest in yourself and not to go after what you want. And it's not only about investment in money, it's also investment in time, in energy, in focus. And I would really like to put a stake in the ground for putting yourself first, and not from an egocentric or an egoistic point of view, but you can only support others, be it your family, your friends, your clients, your team, whatever, if you are okay, if you are healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and if you have a vision and a mission, then you have impact. And then you can help and support and co-create and do whatever you want. So don't put that, on the burning stove, because it is basically the priority. And this is something that I don't know how to. Sometimes I feel difficult to I don't want to convince people, but to make people aware of that.
Mm. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I'm the same. Like, I understand because I also used to be like, oh, do I really want to
Hmm.
coach? Like in the very beginning, like, do I really want to pay that money? But it comes down to, okay, what do I want in my future? Yeah, I want to grow in this or that area. Okay, well then I need help, and it's an investment in myself. And yeah, yeah, what can I say? It just,
Hmm.
whenever it feels right, it just, we spend money on something. There's always money. Okay. It's never a
Hmm.
money thing. It's just the
Hmm.
fact of where do I want to spend my money on, or where do I want to spend my time on? It's
Yeah,
the same thing, time or money. It's the two biggest
exactly.
things. And it's like, okay, so you want to spend your time watching Netflix, or you want to spend your time working on yourself? You want to spend money
Exactly.
on, you know, a nice dinner and clothing? I don't. I don't go out.
Hmm.
I don't need fancy dinners and stuff like that. I don't, do these things. But yeah, I want to spend money on, on an airplane ticket. And,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't have a fancy car. I don't care, but I want to travel. Like it's,
yeah.
everybody has to choose.
It's making choices. It's making
Yeah,
it's setting priorities, and
exactly.
it's choosing
Yeah,
who you want to become,
yeah.
or if you stay in that status quo. I think
And,
that is basically.
and also, it's, yeah, some people are just not ready. They get all the information, all the talks, they talk to so many people, and then they still don't do it because they're not ready. And then I mean, I have people like literally, I think the longest one was one person who had a chat with me, and she took 3 years. And then after 3 years, she goes, Rachel, I've been following you for 3 years, and I am so ready to work with you. Like, oh my God.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
think that was the
Mm.
longest one, but it happens, like 6 months, a year. It's like they need time, they're not ready, and then suddenly it's like, oh, now I'm ready,
Yeah.
and then they have the
Mm.
time and the money.
Yeah.
You always have
They'll
it.
find it. They'll
Yeah,
find it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think time and money are basically also excuses, because if you feel that you are worth it,
exactly.
you will take it. And that is very, very important. And we, like you say, we are basically bombarded with opinions and judgments and things that we should do and we have to do and that are expected from us, etc., etc. And so we just don't want to make that step. So for me, I really like to bring you forward here on the Authentic Leadership Roadshow as the living example of that possibility without breaking relationships with the people that are really important for you. And especially now with all the possibilities to connect digital, to fly in a couple of hours if
Yeah,
something really goes, that you really need to be there physically. There are a lot of possibilities to organize your life and still keep responsibility or accountability or whatever you want to keep in your old life. So I'm very happy that you are here as an example of what is possible, and on top of that, that you also provide the advice for people that are interested in, okay, how can I do that? How can I organize that? Not only practically, but also like we already said, this mindset and this mind shift. So where can people find you, Rachel?
I'm everywhere. If you can spell my name, Rachel Smets, and you Google it, Smets. No, my website is rachelsmets.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Rachel Smets, on Facebook, and YouTube, of course, Rachel Smets. And I mean, I'm mostly helping speakers, who want to, speak and create a great impact or speech or presentation, or be more confident to talk, in a conversation or in a meeting or all of that. So my weekly videos on YouTube are definitely, speaking tips. And next week we have a great event with really a lot of speaking tips. Um, but yeah, the mindset is always part of it. The mindset is always something I like to work with, with anything, whether even when I coach speakers, it's like there's always this confidence, and I work with big names and CEOs and founders and all of that, people that you think, and that's another really big thing that I want to share really quickly is like you sometimes see people that look super confident, you know, and then when you really dig deeper, it's like, oh my gosh, we're confident in certain areas, but not everywhere in life, and there's definitely parts that they want to develop as well. And it's not because you appear confident that within you feel that, and so don't be fooled by what you see. We're all human beings.
Absolutely. Well, if they're not confident, at least they are courageous, because courage is doing something, although you are scared of, looking stupid or making a mistake or whatever, it's doing it anyway. So if you can combine confidence in certain areas to build your courage in other areas that you don't have your confidence yet, it's very, very strong. But that's amazing. And I do believe, Rachel, that you do support women that, or people in general, that want to go speaking publicly. And at the same time, I think your coaching and your work is very relevant for everybody who wants to have an impact in corporate, in meetings with their teams. It is about impact and influence. It's not only speaking on a big stage. It is speaking in general. It's also It's also putting your videos out there. Speaking on a YouTube video, speaking in a podcast interview. It is about so many things that you can help people to find their voice and to use that voice, which is something that I am a very, very big supporter and fan of, because we do not use our voices enough, and we could make a lot more difference if we find this confidence and this courage to do so. So thank you so much for being here and for being around to support women and people in general. I'm sorry, you can obviously hear that I am very much focused on working with women to support people with that one. Absolutely. So thank you so much for being here and for this interview, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for being you. And thank you everyone for listening and watching. Thank you.
Absolutely. And for the audience, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like to explore or talk about, just feel free to connect with Rachel, or her connection information is below here. So we make it very easy for you. Follow her on YouTube, watch her TEDx talks. They're great. I mean, they are about comparison, which I really like. They are about the next step. So they are very, very relevant, even for the context of this interview. So, go and watch them, give them a like, support. We all need support. We give support, but we all need support. And that is basically what we are here for, and what makes us stronger, and what gives us the impact that we need to shift this world a little bit. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel. See you soon. And for all the audience, see you next time. Bye-bye.